We're on set for the making of the video, the brand new video from John Legend featuring Melanie Fiona and Common. It's the remake of Wake Up, but it's also a wonderful occasion for us to catch up with director extraordinaire Gil Green, all the way from the South Side. Gil, how you feeling?
I'm feeling really good. We're on the set. This is actually not only John Legend, it's John Legend and The Roots. They're putting out an album together. And this is the first single off that album, Wake Up. And what it is a collection of classic 60s and 70s songs that they're redoing. And they're featuring a lot of artists on the album. And they're going to redo Teddy Pendergrass' song like Wake Up, and Donny Hathaway, Nina Simone, Marvin Gaye. It's going to be a really dope album. So I'm excited to be on such a positive project with so many positive artists. And besides you, in NYC.
Right. Now, this must have been a phenomenal experience for you artistically. Lots of inspiration, lots of creative juices must have been flowing through your brain. Give us the premise, the concept of this music video.
Well, I mean, you start with a song that has a lot of powerful meanings and lyrics to it. Wake Up. It's classic. It's telling people to get involved, make a stand in their community. It's a positive song. So when you start with that as a foundation, the visuals are, to me, I get really hyped and excited. Especially not to knock all the music that's out today, but it balances it out. Because if 9 out of 10 records is talking about a gangster life or a material life, which a lot of the music nowadays does, it's so refreshing to hear something that just feels good inside, outside, and then I get to bring some artistic visuals to match those type of lyrics and music. And these are the type of projects that I really get excited for.
That's the type of music we get excited for at One Caribbean Radio as well, because so often you hear a lot of negative emphasis on music and culture, because some artists choose to put out negative ideas and images with their music and music videos. When you have a powerful song like Wake Up with such great artists and a talent like yourself bringing it to life on the screen, what do you think that's going to do for the youth right now that are so glued to the televisions, the cell phones, the radios, the music that's being put out there is really shaping their culture and their mindset?
Well, what I think is it's a balance. I don't necessarily think that all of a sudden every song is going to be a positive song that follows this. But what it does is give youngsters, as well as all the other fans, just a fresh impression of other things that music videos can be about, that music can be about. So you just know it. So somebody that listens to a facade of gangster life or whatever, and might hear this song, might be like, oh wow, there is some other ways of expressing yourself, and this is one of them. So I think it's all about a balance. It's not to knock the other stuff that's out there, because that stuff can be fun if it's put in the right context, and at the same time it just balances out people's impressions of music, life, youth, the generation, and what we mean to this universe and how we're all connected.
Gil, let's talk a little bit about your art form. You're no stranger to the music video scene. Your resume reads like the who's who of the industry. You've worked with, of course, some of the greatest Caribbean celebrities, from Sizzla Kalonji to Cardinal Official.
Yes, that's my boy.
You've also worked with Fat Joe, Lil Wayne, Akon. My goodness, the list goes on and on. Where did your inspiration to pursue the visual art form really come from?
My inspiration really comes from my passion, which is music. Since I was a young kid, it always had a real effect on me. At a young, early age, I wanted to get involved some way in music. I started DJing at a very early age. I was into hip-hop when it was golden, like mid-'80s to the late '80s and the early '90s, and everything about hip-hop was fresh and new, and every artist that came out was fresh and new. And then growing up in Miami, I was indoctrinated into the reggae culture, the Jamaican culture. A lot of my best friends and family are from Jamaica and introduced me to that at a very, very early age. So, of course, we had the sound clashes that used to pop off down in Perrine in Miami. Anyone that's from Miami knows those classic sound clashes and ram jams and all those places where it was real gully and gutter and gritty, but it was fun. It was all about dancing. There was no such thing as a VIP section or popping bottles. It was really, you're going to get your groove on and see what DJs were playing new tunes. So that experience was something that stuck with me. It put a lot of impressions into me because I got to see it firsthand, and and then I get to work with these artists, I think they relate to me because I relate to them so well. And I can portray exactly what's in the artist's head or how that artist lives. So for instance, if our artist if we want to do a dance hall video, it's good that I might know the dances that might be out. So when we did Elephant Man, Pond the River way back, I mean, that was such a, like, the dances were all about running Jamaica at that time, and Elephant Man was coming up with new dances every week. So I mean, that was my, I was either in Caribbean City, in Brooklyn, or down in Miami. Yeah. So, it was easy for Elephant Man to relate to me. And then when Sizzla, we talked about doing his Thank You Mama video, it was easy for us to relate because I was a fan of his music from way back, Black Woman and Child and all of, like, his even earlier stuff. And the same thing with hip-hop. Like, coming from Miami, I understood the Southern stuff real early, so I linked up with a lot of Southern artists when they weren't getting a lot of props and respect. Little John and 3 6 Mafia, and a lot of people just be like, oh, that's not music, but if you know the culture, and if you put it in the context of the culture, which is fun dance kind of stuff that we do down south, then that it has a place. It may not be the lyrical thing that New Yorkers might have been used to at the time, but now I think they see that, there's different sides of hip hop. There's the lyrical hip hop. We just want to have fun and get our groove on hip hop. So every artist and every music genre has a certain context, and I think what I'm good at is understanding that context and going into that subculture and learning it and enjoying it and partaking in it. And I love it. If there's something going on, you're probably going to see Gil Green in the corner. Nobody knows I'm there. My hat's down low, and I'm just enjoying myself behind some speaker, having a good time.
Now, whether you're working with Caribbean artists like Chantel or you're working with mainstream artists like Rick Ross, what advice can you give those up-and-coming artists who may not be from the American culture, but they aspire to that genre of music, be it a Caribbean artist singing R&B or, an American artist collaborating with the dancehall community? What advice can you give those artists that want to expand their creative horizons and collaborate with other genres?
Well, I think my first advice to all artists is to be as original as possible. I think people see duplication as unoriginal, and you don't stand out. But if there's something about you, whether it's your look, your music, there should be something in your music that stands out. And then also image, which I'm partly responsible for. If you're willing to push beyond the box and not be afraid to do something that other people might think is not cool, but you may like, don't get trapped in what you think is cool. Make cool what you want to do and what how you want to portray yourself. And anytime an artist has done that and put out good music, it works. I mean, think about Outkast, how crazy their videos are and their costumes and their outfits, but people love them because they bring something fresh and new. And Busta Rhymes with his videos back in the days, I mean, they were out of this world. Or Missy. These are artists that aren't afraid to step out of the box and do something that, if you saw something that was in their video on a street corner, somebody might be, oh, that's corny, whatever. But these guys had the ability to make it look fresh and do what they want to do. So originality is key, and people are always looking for something new. They want something different. They want a different sound. So don't try to emulate, what you think might be hot. Have enough confidence in what you do is hot. Don't be afraid to get booed. That's important. All good artists have gotten booed earlier in their career. Everyone that's been successful in life has failed at a certain time, and it just makes you work harder, and it makes you appreciate success later on in life. So I feel like if you put yourself out there, which takes a lot of confidence, a lot of courage, but in the long run, if you stay at it and you stay focused, it always pays off.
Wise words, creative words, and passionate words from director Gil Green. I'm Jeanille Bonterre. Wake up, people. We are one people, one love, one Caribbean. We've been talking art with director Gil Green. Stay tuned. The brand new video is looking hot. Gil Green, we look forward to having you again on One Caribbean Radio.
Yo, I look forward to being on here again anytime, all the time. Big up to all my peoples in Miami, JA, DC, NYC, LA, China. Yo, all across the world. Big up, big up.
We've been talking art with Gil Green. I'm Jeanille Bonterre for One Caribbean Radio 979 HD2. Join us again for another edition of Talking Art.